San Diego is more than just one business or organization. It's all of us. It's our beaches, our bays, our way of life, our people, our community. That's why we live here. And that's why people who don't live here wish they did. We now have an opportunity to remake the Qualcomm site. But we also have many other civic priorities that we need to address. Repairing our infrastructure, helping our homeless, growing our economy, all of which I will be talking about tonight at the State of the City address. I'm confident of at least two things. We're going to be fine, and the Chargers made the wrong choice. San Diego is a great city, and I'm certain that they will come to regret this decision. But I ask San Diegans not to let the action of the team's ownership to ruin the well-earned legacy of the San Diego Chargers. Philip Rivers, Eric Weddle, LaDainian Tomlinson, Junior Seau, Dan Fouts. These greats are San Diego Chargers, and the memories they made are San Diego's. Nothing can change that. The Spanos family may own the Chargers franchise, but our community, our San Diego community, is and always will be the rightful owner of the Chargers legacy. Now I'd like to turn it over to Supervisor Ron Roberts.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Faulconer, and good morning. I can't sugarcoat this. This is a very disappointing day for us. It's a day in infamy in sports history here in San Diego, urged on by the NFL nearly 2 years ago to get a plan ready on a very tight deadline. Mayor Faulconer led an unprecedented, all-hands-aboard effort that resulted in a remarkable plan for Mission Valley. We flew around the country and we presented this to owners of various teams to show them what we were very confident that we could do. And the Chargers barely participated in the process with us. They basically rejected the plan outright, only then to have the other owners reject their plans to move the Carson, which they thought was a slam dunk. The team returned to San Diego, and again they dismissed our plan unless it included another $200 million. $200 million taxpayer dollars. Instead, they embarked on a quixotic quest for downtown, seeking no public input at all in their planning and only strong-arming some support near the end of their efforts. Voters wisely saw through the plan's deficiency, defeating it soundly at the polls. In the aftermath, Mayor Faulconer pulled together a regional partnership that would once again allow the team to have a publicly subsidized, state-of-the-art stadium in Mission Valley. Instead, we learned, disappointingly, this morning that the moving vans are headed for Los Angeles. In some respects, this is Donald Sterling and the Clippers all over again. We've been through this. One difference here, though, is the Clippers never were seeking a public subsidy. Donald Sterling just wanted to move. But make no mistake about this. This is a sad day. One that we've spent many, many hours trying to avert. The Chargers have been a large and important part of this community fabric for 55 years. I hate to admit this, but as a young student at San Diego State University, then San Diego State College, I attended the first games down at Balboa Stadium, even before it was remodeled with another deck so you could get people in there, a high school facility. Nobody would have dreamed that we'd have been talking about $1 billion facility. And the mayor was talking about some of the more recent stars of the Chargers. When I think back to Lincoln and Lowe and Allworth and Tobin Road on loan sort of for a year, I saw them win their only championship there. They won at Balboa State, an incredible game over a team they can't beat anymore, it seems like. In any event, we have these memories. We have a lot of great memories. But when it comes to the public treasury, there are limits to what you're willing to do to keep something like this here. San Diego is a great community. We can, we must, and we will move on without the Chargers. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce President of San Diego State University, Elliot Hirschman. Dr. Hirschman has been a great partner, particularly in the last month and a half, as we had some great plans. President Hirschman.
Thank you. First, I want to express my sympathy to the fans who supported the Chargers for 55 years. I am truly sorry, and you do not deserve this. I also want to thank the mayor and the many colleagues assembled here and throughout the city and the region who dedicated their efforts to keep the Chargers in San Diego. We had countless good faith discussions. Unfortunately, we didn't have a good faith partner. Looking forward, I'm excited to work with Mayor Faulconer, our council members, our entire community to support Aztec football and the redevelopment of the Qualcomm site. While the discussions of the site are still at a very early stage, we have an opportunity to create something very special as a community in San Diego. Let's move forward together.
Thank you, President Hirschman. Next, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Scott Sherman, who, of course, represents the district where Qualcomm Stadium is. Councilmember Sherman.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here. Excuse my attire. Wasn't planning on being at City Hall today, but once again, the Chargers saga kind of messed things up, so excuse me. Very disappointing day for all of San Diego. You know, as a lifelong Chargers fan, my home sits there and looks right down at the stadium. It's been a civic asset for us for a very, very long time. The Chargers have been part of who we are for as long as I can remember. They are part of San Diego. But our love for the Chargers was because they had the name San Diego in front of them. You know, we love the players, we love the game. The ownership, unfortunately, has been a problem during this whole process. 2 years ago, I met with the ownership of this team trying to get things worked out to come to a solution. Never once have we got a straight answer from the Chargers. Today's announcement by the Chargers that they were moving was just the culmination of 2 years of obfuscation, confusion, and telling people one thing and doing another. Mark Fabiani and Dean Spanos have tirelessly worked behind the scenes to subvert every single action that this city council and this mayor have done to try and put something on the table to keep the Chargers here. You know, I'm a small business guy at heart, been a small business guy for over 27 years. Done a lot of business deals, not as big as this one, granted, but a lot of business deals. One thing you have to have when you try to make a business deal with somebody is their handshake and their word has to mean something, or you can't go anywhere. The ownership of this team's handshake and their word has meant nothing through this entire process. We diligently put effort after effort forward, only to be told that that's not going to work. It's our way or the highway. And that's what we saw today. 2 years of work trying to keep us from putting a plan forth that they couldn't turn down. Even Prop C, when they came forth, they knew it was doomed from the very start. 2/3 tax increase hasn't passed in San Diego, and I can't remember when. What they did do was put that forward knowing it wouldn't work, so they could go to the NFL and convince the NFL that they needed to have their relocation fee reduced. And lo and behold, we hear their relocation fee is being financed over a longer period of time. Imagine how those things work. The citizens of San Diego and the fans of this team deserve better. The city of San Diego and its fans have made the Spanos family very, very wealthy, and this is how we get treated for it. The mayor himself came out and endorsed Measure C. And how do we hear that the Chargers are moving to LA? We hear about it in a press release. Not a way to do business with people. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, the Chargers are leaving. Our memories aren't going to be leaving. We're still going to remember the players. We're still going to remember the good times. We're still going to remember the unity we felt as San Diegans when the team was winning. But at the end of the day, this is America's finest city, and we can do without. Hopefully the NFL will talk to us again about bringing another franchise or somebody else to San Diego, because I still believe the NFL is part of what it is to be a major league city. And San Diego is a world-class major league city. And hopefully we can get somebody else here whose handshake and word actually means something, and we can get something done. So thank you all very, very much for being here.
Next up, I'd like to invite up Amy Foss of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Can't say enough about the chamber and the business community that came together over these last several years, showing that strong business community support. Amy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today is obviously, as everyone has said, and all you feel, is very surreal. The San Diego Regional Chamber has spent the last few years supporting the mayor and his efforts, actually extraordinary efforts, even when faced with political adversity, to support keeping the Chargers here, because they have been an integral fabric of our community. We have also supported the Chargers in leading the effort and supporting Proposition C that didn't come through. At the end of the day, the Chargers made a business decision. Unfortunately, San Diego wasn't a part of that. We stand ready to stand behind the mayor and support the mayor in next steps going forward so that San Diego can move on, and there are great opportunities at Qualcomm, supporting SDSU, supporting whatever else we can do. And so we as a business community will stand here with the mayor strong and supporting what we can to move forward.
Thank you, Amy. Last up, Adam Day, as many of you know, chaired our Citizens Stadium Advisory Group, bringing together people throughout the city and the region on some great plans. And Adam, again, and everybody up here, your personal effort, because you were invested in doing the right thing, means a great deal to this entire community. Adam?
Well, good morning. Thank you, Mayor. The sun is crested, and it appears our long civic nightmare is over. Today is day one of a new chapter. It's a healthy thing for humans to experience the 7 stages of grief, and our community will be no different. Today is a very disappointing day for all San Diegans, especially for the loyal fans and small business owners who have been dedicated to this team for over 50 years. The Chargers' decision to walk away from those fans and the team's legacy and countless memories is a new low. And it brings to mind the old expression, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Collectively, we have given all we could, physically, emotionally, and financially. Every business deal has to work for both sides, and there are many ways to craft the deal that is balanced and balances the risk and the reward for both parties. But it takes two to tango, and the team's refusal to entertain any conversation, we now need to move on. I am very optimistic that this does in fact start a new chapter in the history of San Diego and the future for the Qualcomm site. I look forward to encouraging the mayor and his team to start fresh and create a bold vision for the redevelopment of the Mission Valley site. And I am very excited for what this means for SDSU, as both an alumnus and as vice chairman of the Board of Trustees. As residents and taxpayers of San Diego, we have a great opportunity to completely revision and repurpose what truly is the heart of the city. And at the top of that list needs to be a robust plan to improve and expand the open space and amenities associated with the San Diego River. I am proud of the effort and the work product my advisory group developed, and I'm confident that we left it all in the field. But I am very excited and very optimistic about what the future holds, and I look forward to helping create a new legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Be happy to answer some questions, ladies and gentlemen. Lee.
Kevin, Lee Hamilton from Channel 6. Did you have any recent conversation with Roger Goodell? Did you ask Roger Goodell if the league had the ability to put more money into the package in unique bridge loans, et cetera? Can you talk about what the dialogue?
Yeah, no. I had several conversations with the commissioner, particularly over the last several weeks, Lee. Spoke with him this morning. I'm never going to speak for the commissioner. I'll let him do that, but he expressed his disappointment. Yeah, the league was working on a variety of things in terms of long-term to able to keep the team here. And while I can't say what happened in yesterday's meeting because I wasn't there, I do know that from our perspective in the city and the county and in the university, they were fully aware of all of that, all of the details. We had briefed them on several occasions, and they knew exactly what was on the table. Yeah, I found out about obviously the news last night, like many of you did. I got a call from the commissioner this morning. I then saw the letter on the news, And then I got a call from Dean Spanos
So you didn't hear about it directly from Dean originally, you heard about it on the news?
last night. Correct.
How do you feel about that?
What did he say in the conversation?
It was a brief conversation, explaining that what they're going to be doing to Los Angeles. And I said, I think it's the wrong choice, as I just told you. The passion that this city, this community has for this team, you're not going to get that in Los Angeles. You're not. You guys know that. I think everybody knows that. I saw, was it the LA Times today, the headline, "We don't want you." Pretty direct. Look, it's all of the work is something I said before, that you couldn't have had a greater partnership of a region that really came together. And I think that showed, and I think the league saw that, particularly last month.
I'm sorry. How do you feel about the fact that he didn't call you this morning when this news was out?
There are ways to do business, and there are ways not to do business.
There seems to be a sentiment, though, that the Chargers were never really interested in negotiating with Midday. So why did you show up at that press conference at Chargers Park to go ahead and support Measure C? And do you think coming on board earlier would have made any difference?
Yeah, I tell you, I supported it, particularly after the conditions that were met. My job as mayor is to make sure that we have taxpayer protections and that we have the right plan. And going into it, of course, I think all of us knew, very, very difficult to ever get 2/3. But as I said at the time, setting that tone, that pace for, after the measure, to come back and say, we have the framework for no cost overruns, all of the things that make sense, that was the right thing to do. Knowing that it wasn't going to get 2/3 is something that I think most of us knew. But to me, it was worth it for the city and the region.
Do you think this is nothing more than a money grab on his behalf?
You're going to have to ask them that, Lee. I will tell you, though, we've been very strong about not only dollars, commitment, timing. Again, I want to thank the county and particularly San Diego State, who jumped in right away with not only timing and process, but dollars and how we could get this across. And we shared those details intimately with the NFL. The NFL was very aware of everything that we were doing right up until yesterday.
Do you, Councilman Sherman mentioned his hope for potentially wooing another NFL team here. How do you feel about that? Is that worth pursuing?
Well, look, San Diego's a great sports city. We know that. And we'll always keep opportunities open. We will.
What would you say to somebody who possibly thought, the city is partly to blame for the Chargers leaving? What would you tell them?
As I said before, the fact that so many people came together, we had real plans, real financing plans that had never happened before. That effort was significant. It was recognized by the other NFL owners. But as I think many folks have said, you need two to be successful. You need to have that partner in order to achieve success.
What about city leader, how people are kind of blaming city leaders, kind of like what she said, that nothing was done 15 years ago to try to keep...
Yeah, I can't speak for what didn't happen 15 years ago. What I said when I took office, as I think probably many of you know, is we need a new stadium. Let's put together a plan to do that. Let's be direct about it. Let's be open about it. Let's be honest about it. And that's how we conducted it all along the way. Even when we got surprises like Carson, which nobody here knew about, again, until you read about it in the press. We didn't let that dissuade us. Tried to keep our eye focused on doing the right thing for this community, doing the right thing for the fans. And that was our guiding principle the whole way, along the way. 55 years.
I have a question for Ron.
Yeah.
Your whole career has been in service to these communities. What's in your heart right now towards Dean Spanos? What do you think, what do you feel, based on the way he conducted business and how this has ended?
I started by saying I'm personally extremely disappointed. I have been from the start of this. They never really engaged in any kind of real negotiation. None. They dismissed, in almost a spiteful way, our even presenting to them a pretty comprehensive plan. We flew people in from literally as far away from London to show them how we could make this work. And it was like, well, we don't want to even talk about that. This has been very one-sided, and I will take you back when I hear that nothing's been done for 15 years. Go back a little further. I think some of the classic mistakes that were made, and to be honest with you, I think the city made some mistakes, not this mayor and not anything currently. But you remember the county, we pulled out of the partnership with the city when they decided they're going to have a ticket guarantee. thought it was one of the stupidest things that could be done. I thought for the Chargers themselves, it was the worst public relations thing you could do. We were willing to put more money in not to have that, but we had then a mayor that insisted on doing that. Fast forward to several years ahead, and then when the Chargers are winning and there is no money being paid out on a ticket guarantee, then you had another mayor who stepped up and said, well, let's do away with the ticket guarantee in return for allowing them to be able to leave sooner. There were mistakes made, but it wasn't, even though they made mistakes, those two mayors thought they were doing something to help the situation. The city wasn't doing anything, and at the end of the day, they probably did the wrong things trying to do the right things. So, I hate this day. It's just, for me and my family, it's a big thing. And for so many people, not even people that go to the stadium, but people who watch on TV, people feel a part of, drive around this city when they're in a playoff. People are tooting their horns. They got their crazy little flags out the window. The county puts up a big banner. I mean, there's a sense of community that's what sports teams do, and it happens with the Padres, and that's what's so disappointing. We'll get over this.
Question? Yes.
Somebody that I respect on issues of football, American football, not soccer.
Yeah.
Is that the city, the committees, and everyone have been played in the last few years because the Chargers knew already way ahead that they were going to move no matter what, and they did everything on that. So, is that a right?
Carlos, I will tell you.
You're listening to politicians right now, really wasting no words here. There is no love lost between these San Diego politicians you're looking at and the former owner of the San Diego Chargers, Dean Spanos.
Yeah, and we're getting some behind the scenes of how some of these meetings went. You could hear Supervisor Ron Roberts, who just spoke a moment ago, getting very emotional. He takes this personally in the sense that he's a big fan himself. He lives here. This is his home. He grew up watching the Chargers, and he says he hates this day. Cannot believe that this is happening.
They are trying to burn jerseys and other Chargers paraphernalia at Chargers Park, and we will take you there coming up next here on 10 News Midday.